Good morning, everybody. Josh Rugger here in studio at KNWA and Fox 24. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your Wednesday. That heavy rain potential continues to increase this afternoon here in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. We've also had a little bit of an increase in that severe weather potential as well. We'll talk about why that is in this weather live stream. It's going to be a quick one. We've got Good Day NWA coming up in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. So just wanted to provide that update this morning as things have changed just a little bit in terms of that weather forecast. Let's go ahead and look at Heil Heating Cooling Mega Doppler to start everything off. Right now, we've got a few isolated to scattered thunderstorms ongoing across far northwest Arkansas. Again, coverage is not very widespread. I was really thinking this was going to ramp up in intensity later on during the morning hours, but just hasn't really panned out so far in Fayetteville, which is certainly good because we want that morning commute to be as dry as possible. But still seeing some rainfall in northern Benton County. I know my dad was talking about that this morning in Bella Vista, had some small hail to the west of Pea Ridge as well. But those showers and storms are beginning to wind down just a little bit in northwest Arkansas. But this is only the beginning of greater shower and storm potential as we move throughout the afternoon hours today. And notice here on satellite radar, this little satellite radar scene we're going to show here in just a moment, you're going to see those showers and storms really ramp up in coverage during the overnight hours last night. And that's a sign that that piece of energy is beginning to kick in off to our west. Now, we still don't have the main cold front here yet. You can see those stronger thunderstorms ongoing just off to the northwest of Oklahoma City. But that front right now is located along the Interstate 40 corridor and slowly progressing off to the east at this time. That's why that flash flooding potential continues to increase, especially in areas along and south of Interstate 40. But I also want you to notice this here on satellite radar. Look at all this clearing that is going on in portions of Leflore County as well as along the Interstate 40 corridor. This right here could enhance that instability a little bit and allow for those stronger showers and storms to produce severe weather. We're going to have to watch those trends very closely. Again, the River Valley is going to be the main focus for heavy rain and severe weather potential, but Northwest Arkansas is also included in that level 2 out of 4 slight risk for excessive rainfall. Again, we're going to be watching those trends very closely. We do have that level 3 out of 4 moderate risk almost clipping Southern Leflore County. I wouldn't be surprised if that expanded a little bit more as we get more high-resolution data in. But for now, just make sure you're staying weather aware, especially as you're heading back home from work and school this afternoon and evening. And again, here's that updated severe weather potential. This was the latest update from the Storm Prediction Center. You can see that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk has expanded a little bit farther east to include the entire I-49 corridor. So that means Fayetteville, Fort Smith, as well as Scott County, up north towards Bentonville, Rogers. All these areas are now under that level 1 out of 5 marginal risk. And that level 2 out of 5 slight risk is actually clipping portions of Leflore County as well. And you also notice an enhanced risk of severe weather has been introduced along the Interstate 35 corridor in Oklahoma City. So definitely have seen a bit of an uptick in terms of the severe weather potential. Large hail and damaging winds are going to be the main concerns. And if we look at the specific risk here, you can see that there's a large hail risk, again, clipping portions of the I-49 corridor. Damaging wind risk includes all the Interstate 40 corridor and our weather coverage area, and the tornado potential is just off to the southwest, but it has creeped a little bit farther northeast with the latest updates, so we'll just have to watch that very closely. Again, with all that clearing going on in Leflore County and that position of the warm front just to the southeast of Interstate 35 right now, we'll have to see if that makes its way north and allows that instability to surge back into portions of the River Valley. So that's what we're working with in terms of the severe weather potential. Again, even though that has upticked just a little bit, I still think the heavy rain potential is by far the greatest concern. Now, I'll tell you what, the models struggled this morning with that morning round of showers and storms. So take what you see with a grain of salt because this is going to change quite a bit over the next 6 to 12 hours. But I do think we're going to see 2 rounds of showers and storms, the first of which occurs this afternoon. And that's going to be the best chance for severe weather potential, especially in the River Valley. You can see that cluster of storms right around Fort Smith, Ozark, and Clarksville. Those storms will generally be taking an north-northeast track. So that means northwest Arkansas could also get on the action, especially right around 5 to 6 o'clock p.m. So if you're out and about on the roads, make sure you're staying weather aware, taking it nice and easy, maybe leaving a little bit earlier than you typically do because those storms are going to be quite nasty as they push off to the north. But we're going to get a bit of a break in the activity later on this evening and potentially into the overnight hours tonight. But don't be fooled because once that cold front pushes in, that's where we're going to start seeing that heavy rain potential really crank up, especially along Interstate 40. You can see all that heavy rain, all those thunderstorms training over the same areas, especially around the Fort Smith area, as well as east towards Boonville and Ozark. We're going to have to watch this because I think the models are underdoing things a little bit in terms of how long that heavy rain lasts. Because this particular model wants to take everything out by about 3, 4 o'clock. I don't know if I necessarily buy that, especially with all the energy we have to work with overnight tonight. So as you're heading out and about tomorrow morning, make sure you're staying weather aware. Again, leaving earlier than you typically do and keeping an eye on the roadways because it's going to be very tough to see that ponding, especially as the sun is rising just a little bit later than what we saw earlier on in the year. Of course, the model is showing most of the rain staying out of the area right around 8, 9 o'clock, but we could have some lingering showers throughout the early afternoon hours as well. We'll have to watch that very closely. All of that activity should be off to the east of the area by the time we get to about 6, 7 o'clock Thursday. And believe it or not, the models still have a little bit of a discrepancy in terms of how much rain we're going to see. This is 4 computer models that we use. Some of them are lower resolution models, others are higher resolution models. The graph model has about 1 to 2 inches area wide. I think that's way underdone. This model typically does underdo things. But you notice it has the bullseye way off to the north towards Berry and McDonald County in southwest Missouri. I don't know if I necessarily buy that with the piece of energy that's moving in. European model, which is one of our lower resolution models, is showing about 1 to 2 inches in northwest Arkansas with locally higher amounts in the River Valley. I think it's underdoing the accumulation as well, but still has a pretty good grasp of where that bullseye is going to be. I think the bullseye is going to be in portions of the River Valley along the Interstate 40 corridor, and I think the GFS has a pretty good grasp on that as well as the NAM, though the NAM might be overdoing things just a little bit. And I forgot that we can look at the latest QPF forecast from the Weather Prediction Center as well. This is their forecast in terms of where the heaviest rain is going to set up. And you can see that is along the Interstate 40 corridor, just off to the east of the Fort Smith area, where 2 to 3 inches of rain will be pretty common, while northwest Arkansas will see about 1 to 2 inches. So, again, looking like an event that's going to be bringing mainly heavy rainfall and flash flooding potential to the area. But again, I want to show that Storm Prediction Center risk one more time because that has increased just a little bit farther to the east to include Fayetteville and the entire I-49 corridor. So we'll watch those trends very closely. I'm going to keep an eye on that instability, where that warm front is positioned, especially in the River Valley, because, again, you never want to say anything 0%. Don't want to completely rule out the tornado potential, but it is very low at this time based on what we're seeing in the atmosphere. So if anybody's got any questions, I'm going to be on for about another 5 minutes or so. We're going to have Good Day NWA starting within the next few moments or so, but do want to show you that latest 2-day precipitation forecast real quick for Fayetteville. It really remains unchanged in terms of our thinking, though I may have to move that 80% chance of showers and storms to the afternoon because we're certainly not seeing that pan out in northwest Arkansas at this time. But again, the main heavy rain potential is going to be after midnight tonight. That's when we've got a 100% chance of showers and thunderstorms with rain chances tapering off throughout the afternoon hours. And again, we'll watch those trends very closely and let you know about the latest details there. But great time to have that Weather Authority app on standby. Of course, you can, if you're watching on the computer right now, you can scan the QR code on your screen. You can also find that on the Google Play and Apple App Store. Again, we're going to be watching these trends in terms of that severe weather potential. Make sure you're staying weather aware as you're heading back home from work and school. And I will give you guys a little bit of a special treat before you go, because it's not all doom and gloom in the weather world, because this weekend is looking absolutely incredible. And we got high temperatures still in the lower to upper 60s expected. Overnight lows will be chilly in the upper 30s. I'm going to be heading out to Silver Dollar City this weekend, and I know it's going to be cold on those early morning roller coaster rides on Time Traveler and Outlaw runs. So definitely going to be working out the cheeks there. But as we go throughout early next week, we are going to see those temperatures warm up a little bit, but that's actually right around where we should be for this time of year. Average high in Fayetteville is right around 76 degrees, with the average overnight low right around 50. And we're pretty much at that on Monday and Tuesday. So we'll take that all day long. I don't think temperatures are going to get much warmer than that beyond the scope of this 7-day forecast. River Valley high temperatures in the middle to upper 70s today through Friday, upper 60s on Saturday, and right around 80 degrees on Tuesday, which again is actually a little bit below average for this time of year, with overnight lows in the middle to upper 40s. All right. I know Good Day is about to start here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up again. We'll continue to post updates on that Weather Authority app as well as on social media. You can also follow Dan at Weather Dan on Twitter. He's going to be posting updates throughout the day today, and they'll be holding down the fort this afternoon as those showers and storms begin to ramp up. All right. Going to go ahead and wrap things up. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, everybody. Stay safe out there, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time. God bless.